Welcome to the Superintendent's Corner. I'm your host, Dante Julius, along with Superintendent Tim Saxton. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Saxton.
Glad to be here.
We're going to start off today by talking about something new for Boardman schools this year. Final forms, how the transition was from paper to online. How has that been going?
Well, first of all, I think the term final forms, we finally have something that's more than just paper. We're trying to evolve. We're trying to engage our parents and make things easier, make things more electronic. And I know everyone always looks for an online presence, especially when you're looking for more information or trying to register for something. And we've been wanting that piece. We've tried some different products, but Final Forms seems to be the one that we've settled on. And basically, it helps parents. If they're new to the district, there's a whole packet they have to fill out. In the past, they had to come get that packet, take it home. It's all paper. Here they can pull those forms down, do a lot of the initial registration, and then come in for the appointment with our enrollment office. The other thing parents had to do every year were the emergency medical forms, and that's just a lot of repetition, and most of that information does not change. So now it's stored, it's electronic, it's easier to give to our coaches, to our advisors, to our teachers. So we think that's just going to be a smoother process. Of course, there's always that but, and the but in this case is that parents need to have an email address, and it needs to be one that they use most often and that they check. If they just use, if they have that second or third one for the junk email, and they use that, then they may miss out on some important notifications. So I guess we just ask parents, use your main email. You have to have an email address to access this. But why would you want to use your main email? Because we also send some important notification updates. So that will help us out, and Final Forms will help them out.
Another big change for this year is that the USDA university free meals have stopped now. Families now have to apply to be eligible for free meals. How has this change impacted the families currently attending our school?
Oh, this has probably been one of the top three things schools, not just in Boardman or in Ohio, across our nation have been dealing with that. As most families know, over the last couple years that meals basically have been free for everybody. Pre-pandemic, that wasn't true. There was a process, there were some qualifications, but then when the pandemic hit, they said, look, let's just make them free for everybody. And it's like most things in life. Once you get used to that level of service, when you go back, it's very difficult to move back to the old style. So what's happening is a lot of parents don't know that changed, or they've never been part of if they're new to the school system or new to schools, they maybe have never realized they had to register. So it's been a struggle to get parents that qualify for the old rules of the free and reduced lunch to get on the online or pull out a paper form and complete that. But that only benefits them and helps us. We're going to make sure kids are fed. I don't want a kid to come to school and not get a lunch. So we will do that. But we just need their help because we do get government subsidies. We do get government funding for those families that register. And that just helps our food service balance their budget, continue to put a quality product out. So parents are saying, okay, I want to help you, Mr. Saxton, thank you. What do I do about it? Great question. Go to our website. Right on the main page, you're going to see, scroll about halfway down, you're going to see lunch update, lunch news, and there's both the paper form and the online application. Very simple. So if parents can just do that, even if they don't know if they qualify, just fill it out. It doesn't hurt.
Ohioans' election day is November 8th, and there are 2 renewal levies on the ballot. Can you talk about those? Oh,
absolutely. That's let's go back to food service. That's our bread and butter right there. We're a public entity. We're a public school, and we're based on both local and state funding. We do get some state funding, but as people, if they've listened to me long enough, heard me say that in the eyes of the state, the Boardman schools are seen as very wealthy because of our property value. That's the way school funding works. There's nothing we can do about that. They have made some change with the fair school funding formula, which is helping us. But levies are still an essential component to that local funding. We passed a new levy back in 2018, and we pledged to our Boardman Township families, taxpayers, that we'd go at least a minimum of 10 years, if not more, before we put new money on. These are not new money. These are renewals. That's part of that plan. That's part of just us maintaining our budget. So there's two items that our taxpayers will see on the ballot. The first one is what they call 5.9 mil current expense levy. This was first passed in 2003. So it's been on the books for 20 years and renewed multiple times. It generates close to $5 million for our schools. And current expenses go to instruction, go to assessment, and the bulk of schools are personnel, so it goes to personnel, which is salary and benefits. That's a key component. The second one is a little different. It's a 1.6, and it's a permanent improvement levy. Now that doesn't go to salaries, benefits, instruction, assessment. It goes to building projects. So if we want to pave a parking lot, we want to do an upgrade to a building, we need to replace a boiler, we want to upgrade technology. There's technology everywhere here. A lot of the money spent here comes from permanent improvement funds. This was first passed in, way before you, 1988. So we're looking at 35 years of renewals. We did in 2013 reset the millage back to 1.6 because when a levy's passed, it can only generate the amount of money it's first originally passed for. Even though property values go up, it still generates the same amount of money. So we reset that millage to get it caught up to current times, but it's been renewed for 35 years. The one thing that we're asking that's a little different, it's still renewal and it doesn't change taxes, is we have some levies that are considered continuing that you don't have to vote on them anymore. There are some that are on every 10 years and there are some on every 5 years. This one's an every 5 year. We like to move it to continuing. And why would we do that? If we want to do a project that's bigger than the cost of that current levy, so it generates close to $1.4 million, but you do a paving project nowadays, half of that money is gone in one paving project. But if we want to do, let's say, some major renovations to a building, it's going to be more than $1.4 million. If we can make it continuing, we can do some internal financing against ourselves because a bank will see that that money is now continuous and allow us to borrow against it. For now, we could only borrow against up to 5 years because it gets renewed every 5 years. So it still generates a nice little amount of money, but still not enough for a major improvement. We have to take a look at Center. Center's over 100 years old. Are we going to do a major renovation or are we going to replace it? We can't even start that conversation until we start to restructure some financials internally, and that's a key component of that permanent improvement going to continuing. So both of them are renewals. It doesn't raise taxes. It only helps us.
Finally, for the first month of school, we've got actually a lot of national recognition from the NFL Network recognizing one of our very own football players currently attending this school. Mm-hmm. Would you like to go into that?
Yeah, actually at the board meeting on Monday, we had Jared come in and recognize him, and it may seem like, oh wow, he got recognized by an NFL, so he must have had one of the greatest touchdown runs and greatest touchdown passes. No, he did one of the most basic things. That's what I love about this award. It's not the fact that it's sports or it's football. He did one of the most basic things. He had one of the key blocks on just a normal running play during a scrimmage months ago, but he executed it about as close as I've ever seen to perfection. And so there's 11 players on an offense. For a play to work, all 11 have to be doing their job. Every play doesn't go for a touchdown. So not every player does their job every time. Sometimes it works. But in that one snapshot, Jared was as close to perfect as ever seen on his block, and it really stands out. It was one key component. And I tell you what, to me, it's just a nice reflection on life, because sometimes we do things, we don't understand how it works in the big picture, but we should always, no matter who's watching or if we're in the limelight or not, if we work towards that perfection, sometimes we hit it, sometimes we're close. But it was a nice reminder of how every little role we do, it doesn't matter what your role is important to the big picture to help the team. And so it's nice for him to get some national recognition on that key component, and it brought $3,000 in the school to help other players. So that one little block, rewarded multiple athletes in our district. So I thought that was pretty neat and good for Jared. Hey, he's on the NFL Network. That's nice. So.
Well, thank you for taking your time out of your day to join us. I am your host, Dante Julius for BSTN, and it was great talking to you today, Mr. Saxton.
is always, and I know I say this all the time, but it's always my pleasure to be up here. What a great program, and you guys, like our successful program across the high school, you guys don't rebuild, you guys just keep reloading. So I'm always impressed, and I'm looking forward to a new year of BSTN. So thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.